guilty to shooting and killing a Texas Tech police officer is now on the stand. Today, 24-year-old Hollis Daniels is testifying in his own capital murder trial. He will either be sentenced to life in prison without parole or will get the death penalty for killing Officer Floyd East Jr. in October of 2017. KCBD News Channel 11 Shaylee Sanders is live now. She has details on the latest testimony. Shaylee, good afternoon.
Kristen, the courtroom is really full this morning. More people than we've seen in a while as Hollis Daniels took the stand. And the defense has spent a lot of time asking him about his drug use. We learned that he began using drugs his freshman year in high school. He started with synthetic marijuana, and then he said he graduated from that and started smoking pot, took acid, stole prescription pills from his mother, and abused other things like cough syrup. When he was arrested for marijuana in high school, he had to go through drug testing regularly. He says during that time of forced sobriety, he was so desperate to get high, he would sniff air dusters he found around the house. He would try to sniff Sharpies, even tried to get high off of Axe body spray. He says eventually he began smoking weed while he was still on probation because he knew how to beat that drug test. And he never failed a drug test, by the way. He says the drugs helped him smother his feelings of depression and anxiety. He told the jury he has no idea why he was depressed, because he had a wonderful family. He described his childhood as ideal. He says he just didn't feel normal. Now, his demeanor while he's been on the stand, very serious, polite, yes, sir, no, sir, when being asked questions. They just took a recess for lunch. He will return to the stand after lunch, and then later today, we may hear that cross-examination. We'll have an update for you today at 4. Kristen.
All right, thank you so much for that report, Shaylee. Now turning